Today we're going to take a look at statistically what's called categorical data, but to you it's just going to mean, hey, we're building charts. Just an organized, nifty way to store some information and display it. And of course, since everything should revolve around beautifully baked goods, we're going to use brownies and cookies as the subject of our little example. So in this case, assume that a group of people were surveyed, men and women, boys or girls, whatever you want to say, and they were just asked, hey, do you prefer a brownie or a cookie? And the results are displayed here. So I've left the margins incomplete, because I'm going to show you that what we're going to do is just total up the situation. If I look at this, we had 31 people say they selected a brownie, and 24 people say they selected a cookie. There must have been, if I add up across, 30 girls in the survey and 25 guys. So now if things are going according to plan, there are 55 total people in this survey. And if I add up this way, 31 plus 24 also equals 55. So whether I add up this way or this way, I should get the same amount here. That's the total number of people in this survey, and here are their selections. From here, it's just a matter of reading this chart carefully, a little bit like a lawyer. So how many boys are included in this data set? Well, if we've filled out this chart, it's not so bad. It's 25. How many people choose a cookie as their favorite treat? Well, in this case, I look down here and there are 24 people who chose cookie. 24 people chose cookie, 25 boys. But now we're going to get a little bit more detailed. How many boys chose a cookie as their favorite? So here's the column for boys. 10 brownies, 15 cookies for a total of 25. 15 boys chose cookie. Still not a big deal, but you have to kind of read that chart carefully. Now we're going to add a little wrinkle to it. What percent of boys chose a cookie as their favorite treat? Well, I know 15 boys chose cookie, and I know there's 25 boys in total. So 15 out of 25 chose cookie. If I turn this into a percent, that turns into the fraction 15 out of 25, which then if I plug that into my calculator as division, 15 divided by 25 is 0.60, which is 60%. So stated a different way, 60% of the boys chose a cookie as their favorite. All right, let's go to two more. Of those who chose brownie as their favorite, how many were girls? So now to read this chart carefully, I'm only thinking about those who chose brownies. And of those who chose brownies, 31 people chose brownie, 21 are girls. But if I'm asked for the percent, now I have to put a little bit more thought into it. Of those who chose brownie as their favorite, so I'm thinking about this group of people, what percent are girls? Well, 21 out of 31 girls, out of the 31 people who chose brownies, 21 of them were girls. So that's a 21 divided by 31, and I would plug that into my calculator to get a decimal and turn that decimal into a percent. So that ends up being a 0.677, which is 67.7%. And if I want to round it, just for ease, I'd call that 68%. So of those who chose a brownie, 68% are girls. Now that's different than the percent of girls who chose brownie. If the question was, what percent of girls chose brownie? So let's compare these two questions carefully, like you're a good lawyer. What percent of girls chose brownie is different than of those who chose brownie, what percent are girls? So if I were to answer this one, what percent of girls chose brownie, I would look up here and I would say, okay, there were 30 girls in total in this survey. 21 of them chose brownie. So I would say 21 out of 30, which would then convert into the fraction 21 out of 30, which is 0.70 or 70%. So here are two questions that look similar but are definitely very different. And in the end, all of these questions boil down to you very carefully reading this chart, careful like a lawyer.